Imagine that the way you live, and even the way you die, can shape what's coming next. Sounds wild, right? But what if I told you that every action, every choice, even every thought leaves its mark? These invisible imprints, the ones we carry without even realizing, could shape your next birth and define what we call karma. Few people know this, but Sadhguru explains that heaven and hell aren't places, they're states of mind you carry from one life to the next. So, if there's a way to break this cycle and take control of your destiny, wouldn't you want to find out? Think of life like a computer program. Not one you can see or easily tweak, but a hidden software, a subtle force guiding our lives. That's karma, a system that stores all our actions, choices, and consequences, keeping them as a kind of subtle memory. Just like your search history influences what you see online, karma shapes what you experience in life. And it keeps working even after death, like an invisible bubble holding on to the essence of who we were and what we did. You know that feeling of déjà vu? Well, that might just be a piece of karmic memory surfacing. And don't think it's only the big actions that go into this software. It's those small daily choices, how we react to challenges or treat people, that leave karmic impressions. Imagine each action as a file stored in this karma cloud. Our smiles, frustrations, wins, and losses, all of it gets recorded and influences the next chapter of our story. Want a real-life example? Picture someone who's always willing to help, genuinely. That small gesture creates a positive energy that sticks with them. That's the power of karma, something that persists beyond our physical bodies. This karmic software runs so deep that even after death, it's the thread that keeps our essence alive. Think of it as a memory bank, stacking up with every thought and action, like saving everything on a kind of soul flash drive. And when we leave our body, that balance doesn't just vanish. It sets the tone for the next cycle, carrying an essence that prepares us for what's to come. And along with this, what happens to our bodies, which also play a part in this grand journey. The body we inhabit is just a tool, something borrowed from the earth, sustaining us as we walk through this life. Sadhguru teaches that our body is built from the soil, the food we eat, and the water we drink. So when we pass on, we return that physical matter to the earth in a natural cycle. Our physical body is a temporary companion, but the vital energy and karmic memories live on. Imagine changing outfits for each stage of life. At the end, we shed the body, but who we are continues beyond it. It's fascinating to think that while the body belongs to the physical world, the life force that animates it has its own path. This life force, that energy that moves us, carries what Sadhguru calls a karmic bubble, like a protective shield for the essence of our being. Even when the body rests, this karmic bubble holds onto memories, impulses, and desires that are still very much alive. Think about someone who's passed on, but whose presence is still felt by those left behind. That's the vital and karmic energy that doesn't just fade away. This perspective reminds us that true continuity isn't in the body, but in what we carry in our soul. Instead of clinging to the physical shell, we can cultivate what's more subtle and lasting, the energy that shapes our karma. And what happens when the body is gone but the karmic bubble remains? There's a shift, a transformation where the mind loses something vital, making it even more vulnerable to internal impulses. Curious what that is? When we leave the body, a deep change takes place. We lose the ability to discriminate, that is, the conscious ability to choose what to avoid or pursue. In life, this skill helps us control impulses and choose our actions wisely. But without the body, the mind is like a boat without a rudder, driven by intense desires and deep-seated impressions, known as vasanas. Imagine losing control of a boat in choppy waters. That's how the mind becomes, fully exposed to strong karmic influences. These vasanas, or accumulated tendencies, have a powerful pull that can drive us toward impulsive reincarnations, often led by unresolved desires or regrets. You know that strong attachment some people have to unfinished business? That's the kind of pull that, without the power of discrimination, guides the mind from one life to another. It's like a movie on repeat, with no pause option to reflect or do things differently. This lack of choice makes the journey between lives more instinctual than rational. This process is both subtle and powerful. The moment discrimination dissolves, the mind is at the mercy of these karmic impulses, setting up the next life based on past imprints. And so, with every action and decision, the cycle keeps going, pushing the soul to find a new body that aligns with these tendencies. But what happens when karma is particularly intense or mild? that can make a huge difference in what's ahead between lives. The intensity of karma at the end of a life defines the pace of the next birth. Picture someone who dies suddenly, with a lot of intense karma still with them. The strength of that karma creates a sort of limbo, a state between lives where the soul remains until the impact of that karma settles. It's like when someone stops running after an intense sprint, they need a bit of time to catch their breath. This pause the soul takes before reincarnating matches the weight of karma it's carrying. On the other hand, there are those who leave this world peacefully, with karma in a calmer state. In this case, the soul can move on to a new life without much interruption, like taking a quick break before starting a new chapter. It's similar to winding down after a day's work, where, without heavy concerns, the mind is already set for a fresh start. Karma then acts like a regulator of continuity, either speeding up or slowing down the soul's journey based on the impressions left from the last life. The more intense the karma, the more the soul carries that energy into the next life. This weight determines the timing and nature of rebirth, creating different experiences from one life to the next. This cycle is fascinating because it brings out the idea that heaven and hell aren't far-off places but mental states we each experience as part of our karmic memories. So, how do these inner states play out when we're between lives? According to Sadhguru, heaven and hell aren't tied to physical places, but are intense states of mind. After death, without the discriminative mind to control emotions and thoughts, accumulated karma can magnify certain mental states. If someone lived with a lot of anguish or regret, those emotions can turn into a kind of psychological hell. It's like reliving a painful memory without being able to escape it, only even more vivid and intense. In this way, heaven and hell are reflections of what each person carried through life. On the other hand, if someone cultivated peace and happiness, that state can carry over after death, creating a sense of mental heaven. Picture someone having an incredibly satisfying and relaxing experience, and then continuing to feel that deeply. This is what many call heaven, a comforting extension of positive feelings from life. The interesting part is that this depends entirely on the actions and choices we make in life, not on some outside force judging and deciding for us. This understanding makes heaven and hell feel close and personal, something each of us creates over time. If we cultivate peace, harmony, and purpose, we build our own heaven. Similarly, by holding on to resentment and hurt, we end up creating a personal hell. These states stick with the soul and are crucial for the next cycle of life, shaping the experience we'll have when we're reborn. So, what might await us if we view these states as part of an endless cycle? These states of heaven and hell, as part of an endless cycle, show that life isn't just about what we see or live through right now. It reaches beyond what we can fully understand. Each emotion we cultivate, each attachment or peace we hold on to, is like planting seeds for the next life. Often, we think of the end of life as total rest, but Sadhguru explains that the mental state at the time of death stays active, laying the groundwork for the next chapter. In other words, life goes on, and the intense tendencies we feed are carried forward, pushing us in new directions. These karmic impressions act as forces that draw us to specific circumstances in our future life, as if we have an energetic signature that shapes the environment and people around us. Think of someone who lived generously and kindly. Those tendencies create a solid foundation to be born into a setting where they can keep expressing those qualities. On the other hand, someone gripped by deep resentments may find themselves reborn into situations where they have to confront the same emotional challenges. These repetitions are the mind unconsciously recreating the cycle of heaven and hell. So, with each cycle, the soul gets another chance to resolve unfinished business, to break free from emotional ties that might have been lingering for centuries. It's a process of continuous learning and growth, where karma acts like a teacher, repeating the lesson until we truly understand it. With this view, life isn't a fixed destiny, but an invitation to transformation. So, are we ready to use this knowledge of cycles as a real tool for change? Now that you understand how your actions and emotions shape not just this life but future ones too, what's your next move? Are you starting to notice patterns of thought and behavior you'd like to change? This is a golden opportunity to start a new journey, one that's more conscious and aligned with what truly matters. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and keep following along on this journey of discovery. Each step can be the start of a profound transformation. And if you want to dive deeper into tapping into the hidden power of your mind to transform these cycles, check out our latest video, Sadhguru's secret to tapping into your mind's hidden power.